Streaming 24/7.
24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika nakupenda sana.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The name of the show is The African Experience with myself, Mandla Aventina Mabunda. Today, I'm flying solo because my co-host, the beautiful Dr. Hlami Ngwenya, is out there in the world, changing the world one facilitation at a time. So today is an exciting one. If you are a parent, you want to sit around and listen to what we'll be talking about. I mean, take this. The theme of today is giving every child the power to succeed. We all know the importance of how we groom our children at home, and therefore now positioning or, molding them into future leaders. So without much further ado, ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking to Mrs. Phunyuka Ngwenya, a qualified dietitian and a Smart Start coach. So good evening, Miss Ngwenya.
Good evening, Manda.
How are you this evening?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So today we are talking about a very important topic about grooming children. And as a dietitian, I want us to rope in the importance of nutrition, starting with breastfeeding as well, in us trying to give the power to succeed for these children. So, but before, let's talk to the learners, listeners at home on all corners of South Africa and the globe. Please tell them, introduce yourself, tell them who Phunyuka Ngwenya is and what you do.
Good evening, listeners. My name is Phunyuka Ngwenya. I'm an early learning coach as well as a dietitian. So that entails coaching SAD practitioners in terms of early learning development for their children, as well as putting in the dietetics part of it, where nutrition also plays a role in the development of our children.
Wow. So when I was doing my homework where you're concerned, you are doing that as a part of the Smart Start and NPO. So tell us about that. What is Smart Start? What do you guys do? And what are you seeking to achieve with the program?
Okay, Smart Start is an NPO program which aims at getting every child in South Africa, giving them the power to succeed. So it's about the future of our children. As we know that learning starts at an early age. So Smart Start is aiming at children who are the age between 3 to 4 years old. That is our total years. And then what it aims to do is to get every child out of the street. As you know, especially in the rural areas and in the townships, most children stay at home. They do not go to creches or early learning centers. And then even when they go to the early learning centers or creches, in most cases, there is no structured program that guides the ECD teachers or practitioners as to what to do with these children. You find that when the child comes back home, you ask them what did they do, they will tell you about the food that they ate. They're not going to tell you about the learning that they did there. So what Smart Start does, it helps the practitioners with training. It gives them a program that they're going to follow. And then this program is tailor-made for the children aged 3 to 4, which helps with their brain development. It helps with their milestone development, like every milestone that you can think of: physical, motor, cognitive, social. It works with all the developmental milestones of a child. And then this helps them to be prepared when they need to now to go into primary school or into the foundation phase.
Wow, that's so interesting. When I was growing up, I won't mention my age, but when I was growing up, it was not really a must for children to go to creches. What is the importance really of early learning? More especially, I keep on hearing you talk, referring to 3 to 4 years. What happens during that age, and why is early learning important for any child?
Okay, when we look into the nutrition or in the development, not only nutrition, when we look into the development of a child, there are areas which we call windows of opportunity. For instance, when it comes to nutrition, we talk about the first 1,000 days, which is 0 to 2 years. And then from there, for development, for cognitive development, the window of opportunity starts at between 2.5 to about 4.5 years old. That is where you need to get the wiring of the child's brain in correct order. Like, you need to have that foundation in which they're going to have the building blocks built onto that. So when you make sure that these children are developed at that early stage, they are going forward, it becomes easier. That is why it's very important to concentrate on the children at that particular age to make sure that they have the best foundation in life. Once you've built that foundation, Manda, you know that your child is set for success. When you look at the children who go into a program, structured program like the Smart Start program, when you compare them to children who has never been in a structured program like that, they do not perform as well as the Smart Starters. The Smart Starters are more confident, they learn faster, they grasp the concept very well, and then the whole structure of them knowing themselves, that self-confidence, they grow up with it. It's something that you set your child for life.
Wow, that's a beautiful thing, because all that we're trying to do when we're raising our kids, confidence becomes number one. I just imagine in January when children are going back to school and you see those bundles of joy. You can see the ones that have been exposed to a formal program and the ones that have never been in any early learning. You know, the stories that we see on social media of kids that are just rolling on the ground, not wanting to do. And sometimes this thing happens for a month. But at the same time, you also see some kids who understand that now I'm going to big school and I need to wear uniform and the structure and there's a timetable. Is that what Smart Start is trying to do, to make our children be prepared for school readiness? Is that part of what Smart Start seeks to do?
Yes, it is part of what Smart Start seeks to do. Number one, it's to get them to be ready for the primary schools. And then the other thing that Smart Start wants to do is to keep our children safe. When the children are in the ECD centers, we know that they're in a safe environment. So we're not going to be having children who are roaming the streets. And like you said, when it comes to preparing the child for the big school, it's not only about leaving your child there and then the separation anxiety and everything. It's also for them to understand the following of the structure, that I cannot be outside playing when it's time to learn. I need to have time for break where I am going to do my bodily activities outside at a particular time. They know how to ask for permission, and then they know to talk when they need to go to the bathroom. So you are not going to be having cases of children who come back, they've wet themselves, and then you know how children can be brutal. If a child does such a thing, it stays with you forever. So this is part of the things that they get prepared for while they are going into a Smart Starter program. So by the time they go into the big school, they are already prepared for such things. And then they know that, okay, when I feel like this, I need to tell the teacher that I need to go to the bathroom. And then I go to the bathroom. So they also train them for that.
Yeah, sounds very interesting, really, and something that every child could benefit from. Now, here is a Sesimandla somewhere, a village in Gaminga next to Kruger National Park. They are interested now in becoming part, because they love this thing. They were sitting, how do you identify your partners when you get to a community?
Okay, when we go to the communities, mostly we talk to the community leaders in order for us to get access to the people in the community. So we'll talk to the community leaders, and then they will call a meeting, and then everybody comes in there, and then we explain to them what Smart Starter is. So after explaining what Smart Starter is, if somebody is interested in starting their own ECD center, then they come to what we call a matching day, and then we take through some sort of process to see if they are of the same goal as us, because we need somebody with the same objectives as us. And then after that, it's sort of what would I call it? It's a screening process. Once we have done the screening, then they come for the training. So what is very important is that you just need to start with 3 children. We don't need you to have a big class of children with a lot of children in that environment, because number one, you need to be able to pay attention to each and every child. So if you have minimum number of children, that is what we want, because we know that you'll be paying attention to your children. Unlike when you have like 30 children in one class, you cannot be having your eyes in all 30 children at the same time. And then the other thing is, I mentioned the issue of safety. If you are in a village, Manda, you do not want children to be traveling where they will have to cross the roads to get to an ECD facility. You need them to be going somewhere closer to home, where they can be working with the older sibling into the facility without the fear of being knocked off by cars or being kidnapped on the way to school and such things. So the closer to home, the better. And the lesser children you have, the better, because you'll be able to pay attention to them.
Wow, sounds beautiful. So tell me, now this lady wants to really join the program. Do they need to sign in any membership forms? Do they pay anything? How does it work? What is your expectation before signing me on to this program?
Okay, the program is totally free. Even the training is free. What we need from you is your commitment. And you also need to love children. Manda, our children are not smacked. We don't do spanking in our crashes. So it should be somebody who is child safe. We do check criminal records, because we do not want somebody with a criminal record looking after our children. The safety of our children is paramount importance. So what we do is, you come into the matching day, and then after we have matched you, you will come into the training, and then you are going to sign an agreement that you will adhere by our standards and our policies. So the simple thing that we need is that you will run the program as instructed during training. So you'll follow the program, you will be submitting the admin forms that will be needed, like the registration of the children and so forth. But everything else that we do for you, it is free. You do not pay for anything. And on top of that, you are given a startup stipend, which helps you with your setup, because when you start, you need to be able to go and recruit the children to come to your facility. So that startup stipend, which is around 500 Rand, it is there to give you a form where you can maybe make posters that you can put in your community. You can create a community WhatsApp group, buy data with that 500, and then you inform people about what you are doing. So Smart Start actually helps you with starting up your business. And we also offer a business course for those who are just starting up, so that you know how to run, because at the end of the day, your crash should be generating income. It's a business. You are not doing a charity work. So you need to be able to run that business. So we do offer the business course as well.
Sounds very, very fascinating, because it looks like you really, really put the child at the center of the program. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still on the African Experience with myself, Mandla Aventina Mabunda, and we are talking to a qualified dietitian. We are talking to an early learning specialist, also participating in the Smart Start program as the coach. She is taking us through one of the game changers interventions in society, where really we are trying to give the power to every child to succeed. But you know, before we continue with this interesting story and topic, Phunyuka, I want us to go for an ad break, and then when we come back, we will talk about how nutrition now comes into the picture with early learning. So let's go for an ad break, and we'll be back shortly.
Are you ready for the ultimate dietary powerhouse? Look no further than Masana Dietitian's Nutro Boost. Our scientifically formulated low GI food is designed to give you the boost you need to fuel your body and reach your health goals. With Nutro Boost, you have the flexibility to enjoy it as a high-fiber cereal or a satisfying shake. Simply mix it with water and indulge in the mouth-watering flavors that we have to offer. But that's not all. NutriBoost is packed with essential nutrients that are beneficial for your overall well-being. Enriched with 20 immune-boosting vitamins and minerals, it's a convenient and effective way to support your immune system. And here's the best part. NutriBoost is gluten-free, egg-free, and high in omega-3, making it suitable for those with dietary restrictions or allergies. Need an energy boost? NutriBoost has you covered. It's high in energy and protein, providing you with the fuel you need to power through your day. Whether it's a busy morning or an intense workout session, say goodbye to midday slumps and hello to sustained energy with NutriBoost. Try it today and experience the difference. For orders or to become a distributor, contact us on the following details.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The show is still the African Experience with myself, Mandla Aventina Mabunda. Today we are having such a very important topic, how to give power to every child to succeed. And for that theme, we are having a conversation with a qualified dietitian, Mrs. Phunyuka Ngwenya, who is also a Smart Start early learning coach. Tell us, before we went on an ad break, we spoke about all the processes that one has to take to become part of this beautiful program. Tell me, where are you functioning? Where are you functioning currently?
We are functioning all over South Africa. So for somebody who needs more information on this, they can go on the website. They go to www.smartstart.org.za. And then there is a part where it tells you whether you want to go in as a parent or as a practitioner or somebody who wants to start to practice. We as coaches as well, we are in the villages, we are around the community. There are different coaches throughout all the provinces in South Africa, which you can contact, and then we can also help you to get into contact with the coaches there. I don't know if maybe I should leave my number later on with the people who would be interested in joining the Smart Start. So like a community, we are there with the people. And we come to your area, we do the training in your area, we visit your facilities to assist you right there within the community.
Great stuff. So for anyone who wants to join Smart Start, you mentioned passion for children. You mentioned someone who's a self-starter, someone who really wants to contribute to the development of their community. And then you also mentioned that when they come, you do like a screening. Do they have to have a degree in early learning or not?
No. There is no highest qualification that is needed. Of course, you need to be able to read and write because you will be reading and writing with the children. But we do not have like any tertiary education requirements that one should have. So it's more about your passion, it's more about your interest, and also the patience, because when you work with children, you need a lot of patience. And also understanding that when you start something, it's going to start small, and then you are going to build from that.
Yes. Now that's important for everyone to understand so that, when they come with that full information to find out more information. Now, here's the lady, she qualified, she's a suitable candidate. And now you mentioned that you take them for training. What sort of training, what is involved in the training, and what is your role as the coach here at Smart Start?
Okay, so we have what we call the startup training. It takes 1 week. So for somebody who is just starting, the first 4 days, it's more about the program, what the Smart Starter program looks like, what we'll be teaching the children. And then we're also teaching you about the development of a child, what to look for when we're talking about milestone development, because some people would be hearing about milestones for the first time. So we take them through that. And then on the last day, we do like a mini introduction to the business part. So this is an in-person training. So you attend from 8 o'clock, usually up until 5 o'clock in the evening. It's an in-test training. So when you want to join, you need to have that commitment that for the whole week, you'll be coming in for this training and you'll be spending the whole day in this training. And there's a lot of activities that you still need to do as homework. So it needs that commitment. Then after that, we do have other online trainings that builds up to that training that we have given you as a foundation. And then as well as the business training, we still have another online that you are going to be doing. So you need to at least have access to a smartphone and also understand how to use a smartphone. If you do not have a smartphone, Smart Starter do offer smartphones at a very minimal cost that you can buy for yourself later on, because most of the things we're still going to use WhatsApp as coaches to talk to you, to get access to you, to give you support. And we do visit your facilities to come and give you support and then see where are you lacking, how is the program going, do you need assistance with certain things, and so forth. So the coaches are actually there as your mentor and as your support system to assist you in running the program. And when you have hiccups, we come in. Oh, and another thing that I forgot to mention is that Smart Starter also gives you a starter pack. So it's like a box with books, the reading books, storybooks for the children. It has got the program itself, how you're going to run the program. It has got toys, different toys, educational toys that you're going to be using with your children. And then we also assist you in assembling that and also in using them, how to use them so that they are effective, because we don't want you to have something that becomes a white elephant in your facility because you cannot use it. So that's where we come in as coaches to assist you. If you don't know how something is supposed to be used, we come in and assist you in that case.
Wow, that's so beautiful. It seems to me that you empower ladies that are otherwise could be sitting in communities, not sure what to do, with something that they can actually create a living and take care of their families from. If you're talking business skills that you also offer, sounds like a very brilliant concept. And what I like about it is that Smart Start acknowledges that people do not have money to join this expensive type of programs, but they offer them resources, the training, from the training right until the play kit, all of this without you paying any cent towards this. The only thing that is required seems like is the commitment from you to actually roll out the program, which is a very good, I think it's a very brilliant initiative. Now, so once someone has been through that program, right, and they have the minimum amount of children, what happens after that?
Okay, when we have the person and then they're enrolled, and then we start with the crash itself, we call it smart spacing, where we come and check your facility, and we are going to guide you through the facility, through the coaching as to how your facility should look like. I spoke about safety. We need to make sure that the area that you are practicing in is safe. Of course, we understand you are just starting. Certain things might not be up to standard. For instance, we want you to have a first aid kit. So we will assist you in getting the first aid kit when you do not have it in your facility. We need you to have emergency contacts in terms of an emergency. Some people might not even know what emergency contact looks like. So that is where we come in, and then we assist you with that. And then going forward, after we have done all those things, and then now you are practicing, we'll come visit you for evaluations quarterly to check if everything is still in place, if everything is okay, if you need assistance in anything. But every year, when you are complying to everything that is required in the program, every year we have what we call, the word just left me now, but it's sort of a repack, where we are just replenishing your pack, because we know that with toys, with educational material for the children, it gets used up. Some of the things get torn off, some get lost, and so forth, some get broken. So we do give you that repackaging after a year so that you can continue with it. And then we also connect you with other programs. Right now, our Smart Starters are busy receiving jungle gyms in their ECD centers that have been connected through the Smart Starter. So it's not only Smart Starter that will be doing that. They also look at other partners that they can work with, that can help you to get your ECD into an area that we want it to be. Because in some places, especially in the villages, to get the jungle gym, it's not easy. A jungle gym is very expensive. So now they are busy instilling the jungle gym in the facilities so that the children can continue to develop, because children learn through playing. So we want those jungle gyms to be safe. We want them to be in a way that the child will still be developing.
Wow, that sounds so interesting, Phunyuka. I mean, what program can come and give you a skill of learning how to see a child develop and also give you a play kit that will start you off in starting your own ECD center? Tell me something. Do you also assist the centers now to become registered with the department now, DBE, because we know the mandate of early learning in South Africa lies within DBE? Do you also assist your smart starters to register with the department?
That is actually the whole goal, if I can call it that in a long process, we want every child to be in a registered ECD center. Remember, the president said that he wants every child to be in an early learning development center. So we have a target that we need to reach in order for us to get there. So with all these preparations that we help our practitioners with, the whole purpose of this is that they should be able to be eligible for registration with the Department of Education. So we help them. That training, it helps you with setting up the file. How should your facility look like? And then what are the processes that needs to be followed in order for you to be registered? So in the long run, the aim is for you to be a registered ECD center. And once you are a registered ECD center, you continue to get the benefit from the Department of Education, that allowance that they give per child, for you to be able to now offer. It's not only the learning, you also offer the good nutrition, because there is a certain amount that they put in for the children to get good nutrition, because nutrition is very important for the development of our children. So it's a whole package, if I can call it that.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful indeed. Now that you have brought up nutrition, how important is this? I heard you talking first 1,000 days, you talking after the first 1,000 days, 3 to 4, you mentioned cognitive and all those things. Where does food come in? Why should I worry about the type of food or meals that my child is eating, especially at that young age?
Okay, what we put in is what we're going to get out. So the most important thing about nutrition is that we need to feed our brain the good food that is going to nourish the brain for the child to develop well. When we have children who are malnourished, who are not getting the proper nutrition, even their education suffers, even their development suffers. That is why you find a child who has been crawling or walking, if they suffer from malnutrition, they even regress. The child who was walking can stop walking and then go back to just sitting or crawling. And they are not active. They are not active. They just sit there and be very passive, because their brain is starved. There is nothing that they can do, because they cannot think like other children. So nutrition plays a very important role in that sense. Number two, as South Africa, we have a burden of obesity or overweight, most especially in our children. It might not be seen as early as the ECD centers. We normally see it at primary, but it starts at ECDs with what they are fed there. So we teach our children to eat healthy food at that stage. I sometimes hear mothers telling me that my child doesn't want vegetables. And then I ask them, have you ever given the child vegetables? And then they said, no, I don't want it. And the answer is no. It's the mother who decided not to feed the child vegetables at an early age. And then you want to give me vegetables at the age of 9 for the first time. I've never seen this thing. Of course, I'm not going to eat it. I'm going to eat what I am used to. So we teach them to have healthy nutrition as early as the ECD time. So when they come for training, they will also be having a meals which sort of a showcase as to how a healthy plate should look like. And then we use the food that they have access in the community. We are not going to come up with a seafood platter agaminga, where they don't have access to any seed there. So we are going to use your mashonja that you are used to. We are going to use your tiponchis, your tinyawa that you are used to, because that is the whole idea of using the indigenous food, the locally available food, to teach our communities and our children that children can eat healthy without you having to spend a fortune. So it is very important that we follow the healthy nutrition. Number one, when a child is eating healthy, they perform very well. I spoke about the issues of confidence, and also their weight doesn't suffer because they will be of healthy weight. They're not going to be underweight where they are too thin. They're not going to be overweight where they are too fat. And you know how children can tease you for the way you look like. And that also does a very huge dent on a child's confidence as early as the ECD time. So that is what we are aiming for, to make sure that our children grow up getting used to the healthy nutrition, healthy eating, and then they grow up with it. You know, once you teach a child to eat healthy at an early stage, they grow up with it. They're not going to change on you later on. I've seen children who would not go out without a bottle of water because they've been taught that they need to drink water regularly.
That is so informative. I so wish, ladies and gentlemen, whoever is listening to our show today, if they can download the link and share with everyone who is either having children or running a crash of some sort or childbearing age, so that you know what is required really to give the foundation of power to every child so that they can succeed. That was a mouthful. Thank you, Phunyuka. And on that note, I think we need to go for another ad break. And then when we come back, you tell us about Phunyuka, the person now, and what drew you to this type of work. So let's go for an ad break.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
Streaming 24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Afrika, nakupenda sana. Oh, Afrika, nakupenda sana.
Welcome back. The show is African Experience with myself, Mandla Aventina wa Mabunda. We are talking of such a crucial topic today, early childhood development, a topic that has gained momentum over the past few years, that anyone who has children or even thinking of having children cannot afford to miss. Before we went on an ad break, my dietitian Phunyuka, we were talking about nutrition and the importance of nutrition on early childhood development. When you are talking, you are so passionate. You come across as someone who lives for this thing. So tell me, what inspired you to go this route? What inspired you to become a dietitian, and then now you're like, let me branch to early learning, let me become a coach? What inspires you to do what you do?
Well, Manda, they say that experience is the best teacher. You know, growing up in the villages and being a preterm baby, I'm sure some would have figured it out with the name Phunyuka, that, okay, there's a story there with that name. So I was a sickly child. And most of the time, whenever I get sick, my illness will go with vomiting and diarrhea. And then I'll go to the doctor, they'll ask me, what have you eaten yesterday? Whatever I've eaten, I'll be told, do not eat it anymore. And I get confused because it's like, at some point, I had nothing to eat. So then what inspired me to understand the connection between food and disease. And then that's when I went to study dietetics and then understand myself better. Well, later on, I learned that it was just not really the issues of what food not to eat and whatnot, but there was an element of nutrition that was happening there. It was a malnutrition, but it was not a malnutrition in a sense of not getting enough food. It was a malnutrition of not getting enough vitamins and minerals. So when we talk nutrition, it's not only about are you full? It's not about hunger. It's also about what kind of nutrients are you getting in. So that's where the vitamins and minerals comes in. And I found that for a very long time, I was suffering from certain mineral deficiencies that were never addressed because every time I go, I was told, stop eating this, stop eating that. So that's how I ended up being a dietitian and understanding myself better. And then I started to treat myself with food instead of treating myself with medication, because I was medicated from it was just trial and error kind of a situation until I understood what my condition is. And all I needed to do was to get the right food that gives me the right nutrients. And then all my problems were solved. So now when it comes to the children, I have a passion for children. I start with them from as early as birth. Those who know me, they know my passion with breastfeeding. And again, it goes back to the issue of nutrition, because I know that when the child gets breast milk, they have everything that they need there. Now, this child has been breastfed. Now the child has grown. Now the child has to go to an early learning center. So again, the development of our children, because I feel like we are limited, especially as Black communities. We get limited because we don't get the enough stimulation that we need at such an early age. And I believe that if you want to see change, you should be part of the change. I cannot be waiting on someone to come and bring the change that I want in my community. I've gone out there, I've learned things. Now it's time for me to bring back whatever I've learned into my community, so that we have that succession that we want. You know, most people will tell you that when I start working, I want to move and go and stay in the cities. Who is going to develop our rural areas if everybody goes into the cities? We can bring the development that we see in the cities in our rural areas. We have nice, beautiful infrastructures in our rural areas and still embrace our culture, embrace the way that we grow up, because there is a lot of richness, the heritage that is there in the rural areas, that we just need to nurture it. We just need to build into it in order for us to realize that we have goodness in our rural areas. So that's where I come in, and that's how I ended up being an early learning coach, because I felt I have this knowledge. Let me take it back to my people, to my community, be the change that I want to see in my community. I might not reach everybody, but if I reach one child, then mission accomplished.
100%, 100%. Now, you mentioned that Smart Start is available, has got a footprint nationally, right? Where are you currently functioning from? Where are you operating from?
Okay, me as Phunyuka, I'm operating in the Tzaneen area. I'm in Limpopo, so I'm covering most part of Mopani. So I would say Mopani East, because I'm covering Tzaneen, I'm covering Maruleng, I'm also covering Bapalabora, and then a little bit of Greater Letaba. However, I'm not the only coach there. So Limpopo is fully covered. We have somebody who's covering Mopani in the area of Kiani and then part of Greater Tzaneen. And we've got somebody who's covering Bembe. We've got somebody who's covering Capricorn. And then we've got somebody who's covering Waterbeck. So we are in all the areas.
Okay, so you said anyone who wants to be part of this program can just Google SmartStart, www.smartstart.org.za for more information, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, we have two types of women here. One who says, I want to start my own program because I love this. They will help me. I'm passionate about children. We spoke about that type of woman and what they need to do. Now, there's this second one, like, I want to be like Phunyuka. I want to do that. Tell us what it takes to be a Smart Start coach. What is required there?
Okay, to be a Smart Start coach, number one, you need to be self-driven, because where I work, I do not have somebody who would expect me to be at the office at a particular time. I just need to know that these are the activities that I need to do. I need to go to this place. I need to assess them. So number one, you need to have that capacity to work without being followed around. Number two, you need to understand early learning development. So it's not that you need to have a qualification. Like, I'm a dietitian, I do not have any training in social development or in education per se, but I do understand how children work. And then you also go and self-develop yourself by going through the small courses yourself that will teach you how to work with practitioners. You need to be a person who works very well with different personalities. You need to be the people's person, because when you work with the practitioners, they are not going to come being the same personality. They will have different personalities, and you need the patience, because remember, I said that some of these people do not even have matric. Some of them are even older. They do not know how to work with a smartphone. So you might need to start teaching them how to use a smartphone. So patience and compassion for other people is very important. You need to be somebody who adjusts to the community. There are different needs in the communities. In some communities, you will be expected to dress in a certain way. In some communities, you will be expected to address people in a certain way. So you cannot come with your ideas and you want to impose them in the communities that you're going to work in. You need to go in there and then assess the community, understand the community, and work with the community based on what they need you to work with. You are not bringing your ideas. You are there to support their ideas. So you need to be open-minded. And then you need to love traveling because you have to be going to all these crashes. And one other thing, if you want to be a coach, you cannot be coming and saying, but I cannot be sitting in the dust. No, children play in the dust. So you will be playing with the children in the dust. You will be sitting down with the children. You will be running around with them. You will be jumping with them. When you do frog jump, you do frog jump with them. So you need to have that passion for children as well.
Thank you so much. That was a mouthful. And I think everyone who wants to become a coach, they have a picture, but it sounds like fun to me. What you have explained sounds like fun, as long as someone has got the right passion channel towards that, coupled with commitment, hardworking, self-management type of thing. Sounds like it's a very nice a calling, I call it, and not a job to do. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had the website that Phunyuka has been saying, www.smartstart.org.za, for more information on how to become either a coach or a smart starter who is someone who now owns their own Smart Start Center. On that note, I think we need to go for an ad break, our last ad break of the show. And then when we come back, we'll still continue our learning about giving the power to every child to succeed. Let's go for an ad break. Okay, if there's no ad break, you know what? We can talk in this show. That's what we do. So it gives us even more time to talk, so we don't mind that. Okay, great stuff. So let's move on now. We have the people, we have that. Is there any targets that you work with? And how far would you say we are doing as the province of Limpopo or in national, if you work with targets or something like that?
Okay, we do have the targets that we work with. So the idea is that we need to have at least 1/3 of our children in ECD centers by 2030. So for us in Limpopo, if each one of us in the 5 districts, we can have at least 200 ECD practitioners per annum, then we know that with that 200, you time it by 3. Like, let's say every ECD practitioner has got 3 children in their facility. We know that we are running towards that particular target. So yes, we do have the targets and we need to meet the targets, and we rely on the communities to help us to reach this target because the children are out there in the community. So parents out there, please bring your children to the ECD facilities. It is not only for you to have them off you for a certain time of the day, it's also for their development, and overall is about their future, because we all want successful children. Nobody wants a child who's going to depend on them for the rest of their life. We want a child who will be able to work for themselves, who will be independent, who will be marketable. So please bring all your children to the ECD centers.
Great. So on that note, what are some of the challenges that you face as a coach while out in the field? And what sort of solutions do you actually come up with, or how do you resolve that? Since you mentioned the community, sometimes community can be can be not so easy to work with. So what are some of the challenges that you come across?
Okay. In most cases, the challenges that we come across has to do with parents' commitment to their children's success. And then we'll go into the community, the children are enrolled, but the parents are not participating. So we need that participation from the parents in terms of attending the parents' meeting and then also bringing in their inputs. What do you think we should be doing more to assist in your children? Because you know your children better, you know your challenges in the community better. So the parents' meetings are there to assist everyone, not only the children, not only the ECD teacher, not only us as the coaches, but also the community at large. The other issue is that some of the parents do not have the means to pay for the crashes, to pay the ECD practitioners. However, we have certain ways that a parent can pay back in the community, not in a monetary value, but in service. We have parents who would say, okay, I do not work, so I do not have 200 rand to pay for the early learning center. But I can come and clean the yard where my children are playing with other children for a day or for 2 days, and then that will be my contribution towards my child's learning. It might not seem as much because you wanted to see heart and crash, but that service, it would have been paid somehow. So you can still give services in the community in that sense. We also have challenges when it comes to the children that are not paying, like I've mentioned, where the community itself, the businesses in the community are not partaking in these ECD centers. As a business, you can come in and say, okay, I have a bakery. I can offer to give you bread every week. Just a crate of bread every week for your children. That also gives us better nutrition for our children. So the other issues that we sometimes have is people vandalizing the facilities for our ECD centers, especially now that they're closing and then there is nobody in the ECD facility. You find that the older children, they go into those ECD center, break in and then vandalize, forgetting that this is the future for everybody in the community. If you do not have children that go into school who get successful, they will come back and do what? Crime. So if you want to do away with crime, we need to respect our facilities and make sure that everybody learns from there, and then we build better futures for our community.
You mentioned, I want us to talk a bit about parental involvement. You mentioned that one of the challenges is that parents are not involved in this journey of trying to give every child the power to succeed. Now, as a coach from Smart Start, what do you think are some of the things or initiatives that we should take as a program? I mean, the Smart Start program should take or adopt as a way of increasing, number one, the interest for a parent to want to know what is happening when the child go into an ECD site.
Okay, with Smart Start now, we've got the reporting program where we give progress reports to the parents. So how the progress report is structured is in such a way that it shows you where your child started in the beginning of the year, and then after 3 months, where are they? After 6 months, where are they? After 9 months, where are they? After 12 months, where are they? So with that progress report, we share it mostly via WhatsApp with the parents. You can also get a printout when you come to collect. However, when doing that, the preferable manner of doing it is that you come to the parents' evening meeting, and then we take you through the development of your child. This is where your child started, because we do keep progress of where your child started. Phunyuka, when she started in January, she could not kick the ball. By March, Phunyuka could kick the ball, but could not hit the ball towards the target. By September, Phunyuka now can hit the ball towards the target. So that tells you that your child is developing, and then there's a change in your child. So those are type of the things that we need to do with more of our parents. We are also having the graduation program, which should not only happen when we are about to graduate. We need to be preparing this with our parents from the beginning, so that they understand their role in the development of the child, so that by the time we reach the graduation, they are not surprised that, but why is my child not doing this? Why is my child not doing that? Because we would have prepared you throughout the year. So it is very important, even when you come to fetch your child, to just ask the teacher, is there anything that you need me to know about my child? Is everything still okay? Is there an area that you are concerned about? Then we take it from there.
Quite interesting. Now, you said you are operating in the province of Limpopo. In the province where I come from as well, which is also Limpopo, we have 60% of the child population that is not in any early learning. What do you think needs to happen? What should be the approach when we are looking at that? Because now when you say 60%, we are talking of more than 300,000 children who are not exposed to any early learning education. What do you think needs to happen now that you have really unpacked the importance of early learning? What should happen, and who should play a part in making that drastic change that needs to happen?
Okay, these children are not left all alone. In most places, you find that there is a woman in the street who every child goes and play there. That is where we start with the ECDs. It could be in a garage, it could be in a room, a back room there where they can start. So if we can get those mothers, those women who are sort of the auntie of the street or the auntie of the village, where you know that if my child is not home, she's probably playing there or he's probably playing there. Those are the people that we need to come into Smart Start so that we can help them to start, because they are actually what we call day mothers. They're daycare mothers, but they do not have the structure. So those are the people that we are looking at to come into Smart Start so that we can work with. And then from our community leaders, more especially our Tihosi, Tinduna, we also need their support in terms of land. For them to assist those who now have the structure and now the ECDs are growing, they need land where they can build and grow from there. And then we can have more and more children in those ECDs, and then they can expand and employ other people to come and work in that ECD to look after the children. So we do need assistance from Tihosi to give us the land in order for these people to practice in a safe place, in a clean place, not overcrowded. Like I said, we do not want our children to be overcrowded in one small area. So land is also very important. And I know that in Limpopo, we have this land. We just need the support from our indunas, from our Tihosi, in order for us to utilize it in a very good manner that will benefit the community in the long run.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think anyone with an interest of really becoming part of a growing platform in Limpopo that is trying to address the issues of lack of access to quality early learning. Vana crash just to play and sleep while mommy and daddy are working. We actually take them for literal quality early learning exposure and development so that they are ready when it's time to go to foundation phase. Here is a program that seeks to address that. The website is www.smartstart.org.za. Now, in our program, Phunyuka, we always reserve a few minutes, what we call the parting shot. Based on everything that we have spoken about in the past hour or so, what do you want people to know? It could be anything that is in your mind right now. What would you want people to know?
What I would like our communities to know is that the power to succeed starts with us. Give your child that opportunity. Send them to an early learning center that is registered with Smart Start or a similar organization that has got that kind of structure so that we have a better future. The better future starts with you. You can be part of that better future. It starts with you. Make sure that you groom your children in a good manner. Send them to an ECD centers.
Well, nice and short and powerful. Thank you so much for that. Thank you to our guest, Miss Phunyuka Ngwenya, a qualified dietitian and a Smart Start early learning coach. I mean, she had said a mouthful. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our today's session of African Experience, and the theme was giving every child the power to succeed. I don't know if you still feel comfortable with giving that number for anyone who would like to join your part of the program in the Limpopo province.
Yes, the number is 064 537 6134. So anyone who needs more information, especially those who are in the Limpopo province, you can contact me. If you are not in my area, then I'll give you the contacts of the coaches in your area.
Can we have that number read out again for anyone who might have missed it?
064 537 6134.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to end with the words of our dietitian in our show today, where she said, giving every child the power to succeed, and it starts with us. So now the ball is in our court. There's no excuse now. We have a program that is free of charge, that empowers you just for the sake of giving every child the power to succeed. On that note, I would like to thank our producer, Miss Messi, who's in the studio, for always giving us this platform and making sure that the session is seamless without any technical glitches. And also a big ups and thank you to Pastor Strike, who's our executive producer and the founder of Bold Moves radio station. So we are grateful for that platform, and please share far and wide about our program so that we can all build the community together. On that note, stay blessed, and then next week, same time, same place, we are talking about another topic that is going to add value to our lives. Thank you and stay blessed.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is.
Streaming 24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.